stuff, they're going to be presenting from here. Right, so I got your folders up there. Okay. But you may need to. I'm not sure who all needs to download the whole folder. There will be some audio for some of the presentation because they have animations that will have music. So, all right. So yours is downloading. Hello. All right. Hi, everyone. I just want to start off by saying a super big thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us. We really appreciate it. Our students have been working really hard for 2 semesters now. So the projects that they're working on, they actually started in August of 2020. We transitioned our Implementation 1 class to a pre-production course. So the bulk of what they did from August to December of 2020 was they did the concept art for characters, environmental concepts, prop and asset design. They worked on storyboarding, beat boarding, everything that goes into just the preparation that it takes to make a production. And then from January all the way up until I would say even yesterday for a lot of groups, we were working on actually creating the animations, or in this case, gaming levels for some of the students. So it's been a long process. A lot of work goes into our industry. There's a lot of, I think, misconceptions about just how strenuous our industry is. There's a lot that goes into this, and I can tell you from industry experience that it's quite common for clients to request a 2 or 3 minute animation, and they want that turnaround within less than a month, which means you're designing the environments, you're designing the characters, you're animating, but you're doing it in such a short amount of time. But really, the amount of time that it takes to actually make these products, to make these animations, to make these games, it takes such a long time. Those that are familiar with the gaming industry will know that usually with video games, it takes them about 4 or 5 years on average to just work on that one game. And I think today, as the students present to you all, you'll kind of really get that insider look as to what they all have to do on a day-to-day basis. I just want to start off by also saying that I'm really proud of all of our students. Several of the students that are in this class are getting ready to graduate on Wednesday. So first off, a big congratulations to our students that are graduating. This cohort that started in 2019, I kind of want to just mention really quick. I have been an adjunct instructor here for several years, and they came into the program, the class, the group of 2019, now the class of 2021. They came into the program, and we didn't have a full-time instructor at that exact point in time. And so obviously, I applied for the position of program coordinator and advisor for digital effects and animation, and I started that role in November of 2019. So for the group that came in that year, I've been on this journey with them, and as you all know, a couple months into our journey together, we had to face a pandemic, and we were thrown into all sorts of obstacles that we weren't anticipating. But through it all, I mean, this group has just survived and thrived, and they powered through it. And you know, none of them took the easy way out. They put in all the long hours, working from home, working later in the evenings in the labs. And so it was really a big journey for us together. And, you know, there was a lot of times along the way where I was even nervous, you know, being new to the role and having to tackle now a pandemic, having just gotten the role of program coordinator, and I'm still trying to figure out that role. But this cohort has made it the funnest job in the world. They made it the easiest transition I can possibly imagine, because they've been a support to me, and I hope I have been a support to you all as well, because you know, I think we've done a lot of great things together this year. So I'm really proud of you all. I really just wanted to kind of come from the heart. I had written some things out specifically for the students, but I think one of the things that really impressed me this year was the students' bonds with one another. You all became really good friends. You all supported each other. You cheered each other on. When somebody, you know, needed help or they weren't sure, maybe I wasn't in the room, you all jumped in and you helped. You didn't just let somebody sit there and try to figure it out. You all jumped in and you really helped each other. And I think that's one of the most endearing qualities that I see with this particular cohort of students, is that you really seem to love and care for each other. And it just means the world to see those kinds of connections, because when you get out into the industry, you're still going to have these connections. You're still going to be the closest of friends. Your friend might even get you a job in whatever studio you end up going off to. And I know that you all are going to go places. You're going to end up in studios, whether it's gaming or whether it's an animation studio. But I have full confidence in your abilities, and just know that we are always here for you as your instructors. I truly believe that once you're a DEA family member, you are always a DEA family member. That's how we view our students. We're family, and if you ever need anything, whether maybe it's some industry advice, getting jobs, or something else you need to know about Toon Boom, Mr. Ricardo would be happy to help with. He has all the Toon Boom solutions. Ms. Thorpe and I can help you with Maya, so we're still here to help if you need us. We can create video tutorials, send them to you. We're always a resource. So when you move on and you go to other schools or straight into a studio, feel free to reach out to us, because we're going to be here for you even after. So to get the day started, we have a blocked out schedule. So there are certain groups that are going in a certain order, and then we will have a break halfway through our presentations. Now, I will say, if at any point in time after your significant other, friend, child has presented and you have to leave, please don't feel bad about walking out. You are free to, you know, like, just walk right on out if you need to, because I know that the presentations are kind of long. We blocked out 12 to 3 just for these, with the anticipation that each group would probably take about 20 minutes, because they want to walk you through their process and then show you the finished product. So if at any point you need to leave due to work or any other circumstances, please don't hesitate. But we will take a break halfway through, and then we'll resume. And then what we have going on this year is something we've never done before. We actually have tables set up. I think many of you already saw the tables outside, kind of along the hallways in some of the classrooms. So we wanted this to be more playful, because in our industry, I'm sure you've heard of Comic-Cons, anime cons, conventions. So we wanted to be more playful. We wanted to have fun with this. And so there's like little keychains, prints, knickknacks that the students are going to be signing and that you can take with you as souvenirs. And it's just going to be a lot of fun. So I think, would we like to start with our first group? Okay, so our first group is Enchant. And this group consists of Hampton, Madeline, Clarissa, Clay, and Angelica. And I'm going to go ahead and pass off the microphone to you, Hampton. All right, so we're just extracting some files really quick. The video that we're presenting today, so we do have a YouTube link for it, and the video is being recorded. So if you would like to share your students' presentations with anybody else in the family, we'll get that link out to you. The YouTube link should have been sent through an email or a text message. So you should have that, and the recording, once we're done today, it will pop up there. Would you all like to introduce yourself? I know I did an introduction, but would you like to introduce yourself? Madeline.
Hi, I'm Madeline.
It's me. we got some introductions. Here, 1 second. Okay.
You're fine.
All right. It looks like there's a little bit of some problematic happening with that. Well, let's cross that bridge when we get there.
Now, when you're ready to share the PowerPoint, you want to slide it off to the right, and then it will show up on the screen over here.
Okay, and when I play the animation, could one of you guys?
Yeah, we're gonna turn off the lights over here.
Okay.
Mhm.
Cool.
Now, do you want to hold the mic,
Yes.
or do you? Okay. So if you need to put it on the stand.
Yeah, I'll put it on the stand for myself. Like this, right? Okay. Hello? Okay.
Almost done.
Don't get Microsoft PowerPoint. All right. Where's the slideshow? Right. Okay. Cool. Tell me how it's like. Here, 1 sec. What is wrong with it? All right. I guess. I think so. But it's not switching when I go up there. Oh, wait, okay. Okay, cool. I'll just do it. It's fine, don't look at it. I'm clicking from the beginning. This is breaking. Okay, let's go back. All right, cool. All right. Hello. I just want to say, get this out of this thing. Okay. I just want to say thank you so much for being here. My name is, well, if you don't know, my name is Hampton. I am the director for our project Enchant. And it's basically a story about two magical siblings, one brother, one sister. And basically, they just, they make some cool magic, man. So before we get into the actual animation, we want to show off a little bit of the behind the scenes work. So I'm going to pass it off to Angelica to talk about mood and reference boards.
Hey, so my name is Angelica. I was a lot of things, so I'm not gonna go through it. So the first stuff I started on was the mood and reference boards. If you don't know what mood boards are, or reference boards for that matter, the mood boards are like where we began. So this was to get the rough idea of like the feel of our animation and the color schemes that we wanted, the silhouettes that we wanted to use. Anything like that would go into the mood boards and just try to create a general feel of what we're aiming for. Then we got a little bit more specific with our reference boards, which was used specifically during the design process to have something to go back to be like, okay, well, how about we try out this skirt that we saw in this that we really liked because of this, or anything like that. So it's just basically grabbing a whole slew of references to use in the design process. So for Rosie, the moods and references that we used, she's the younger sister. So we were going for about 4 to 6 years old. And we wanted to go for a more fit and flare type of style, try to keep it light colors, really, really playful and colorful, with her general aesthetics, I guess. And with JoJo, we wanted to give him a little bit more, like he thinks about the way he dresses a little more. So we gave him tighter pants, looser fitting shirts, tried to give him a little bit of an academia feel, just to also show that he's a little bit more exact about the way that he uses magic. So that's the type of stuff that you'll see up there. Then for the environment, we wanted to have like this very cozy feel, kind of isolated from the modern society, just to focus really on the fantasy elements. And so they have like a Tudor cottage. They're in an evergreen forest. They're up in the mountains. We wanted it very cozy and away. That also was nice when it came to mixing the two styles. We didn't have to explain as much of like, oh, how does the aesthetics fit in? So you could go to the next one. So going into props, we tried to consider the same thing when it came to like the way that the characters may see magic, as well as like what fits with their mood boards and reference boards and stuff. So for JoJo, we really wanted to give him something to have a process with. We wanted him to almost be like cooking with magic, and especially since like this is such a short animation, we had a very limited amount of time to do stuff when it came to showing what's there, but we really tried to focus on trying to give JoJo a specific process. So we have like a book for him that he's reading off of while he's making his potion. We have candles to give him both light as well as like give him a general mood around him. We worked on making a mortar and pedestal. We gave him ingredients, that type of stuff. So that was all of his props. Rosie, on the other hand, because she's so young, we wanted to really focus in on having her be able to create her ideas as quickly as she generates them. So that's why she has a wand. So she just has to point it, and then it does. And then for a 6-year-old kid, that seemed a lot better of a choice, as well as something to really show like how spontaneous she kind of is. I think that leads into character design.
Okay. Hi, my name's Clay. I am the background and also the character concept artist. My job is to create the characters that are going to be in this animation. And we're going to be starting off with Jojo. Now, Jojo, he's the older brother. In the very early stages, I was going to have his character be kind of like, more like, like a college student. Very into his books, very studious, very strict about the way he learns and what he does. He's just a lot. We went through a lot of his process. As you can see, we have a lot of drawings, a lot of just going through different designs. As I said in the beginning, I was going for a more college kind of feel, but then we kind of realized it was like, well, you can't really tell that he's a wizard unless you kind of just like know the story behind it. So we had to keep going through different iterations. It's a back and forth process that has to happen. I have to create something new. We have to go through the process. If it does well, then it continues. If it's not what we're looking for, then we put it off to the side. Now, we did have different hairstyles, different outfits, different hat variations even. And our final product, he kind of turned into this more relaxed, but also very almost business type. He wears a blouse. He wears tight-fitted pants, almost like slacks. He wears dress shoes. And he was going to have a cloak and wear jewelry, like rings and earrings. But in order to make the job for animators a lot easier, we had to leave those out, because nobody wants to draw that over and over. And up here we have a model sheet. Now the purpose of a model sheet is you'll have different views of all sides. So if you're drawing him, you'll be able to tell what details you need to draw for each side. And by doing this, it's easier to understand his height, how long his arms are going to be, where his facial features are going to go, and how they're going to be positioned. And it's easier to do this, so it'll look like his designs and features won't change every time a different person is going to draw him. It'll look as close to this image as possible, so we won't have any mess ups. Yeah. Now, here's Rosie. She's our 4 to 6 year old. She's very cute, very small, very pudgy. Yeah, in the beginning, we had a lot of like different outfits we wanted to try on her because everything looked cute and we couldn't decide. So we went for more of like a cottage kind of look. She has puffy sleeves under her dress, sweaters. Her pigtails were our original idea. It was what we started with. And even though we went through a lot of different hairstyles, it was what we ended with because it just suited her so much and we just loved it so much. Her being compared to JoJo, it's like their personalities. JoJo's very stubborn. He's very studious. He likes to do things by the book. She's very carefree. She doesn't think about everything she does. They're like a yin and yang kind of combo, and I wanted their appearances to kind of represent that, because JoJo's like very tall, very broad. He's like a carrot. Well, JoJo's like Rosie's very small. She's very just round overall. She's like kind of like a dumpling. So you can kind of tell. And here you can see just how her model sheet works. She has like you can see like the skirt and the sweater and her shoes. They'll all have like different designs. And if you'll turn her around. She has like different details. I also leave notes just in case like the animators also need a little bit of help, and try to keep them on model and as I guess similar to what they're supposed to be. And just designing these characters were just super fun. I had a hard time actually with JoJo trying to pin down the exact thing we were looking for, but eventually we did get to a final standing point with what we liked about him. And Rosie was also just as much fun because she was just like so cute, and I wanted to put her in like so many different outfits. And yeah, most of my decisions on Rosie were decided by Madeline since it is her original character.
Man, wasn't that great? All right, so I'm gonna set up the animation for everyone to watch. So just give me just a little bit, and yeah, we will. I'm gonna super quick re-download this. Okay. Yes, please. Yeah, that'd be good. Okay, if it opens on that screen first, everyone close your eyes because I don't know. Yo, Miss Flincha. It's telling me that I can only play it with the VLC media player, so I just opened up that, and I want to make sure that it. Oh, don't you dare! Where's the pause button? It's fine. Give me that 100%. All right, I'm gonna test the volume. A little bit louder, like there. Oh, I can't start it from the beginning. Let's see if it's. Oh, there it is. Okay.
There is a house with a garden.
Isn't it so good? Okay, here. Yeah, here, just play with it, cause. Yeah, right. It doesn't want to be our friend. It's fine. And it seems like you won't play with that, but I don't know.
It's not even letting me grab it.
Is there a way we can download like a different software? Okay. That's what I was thinking. It won't even let you grab it.
Sure why it's doing
It exists, I promise. Like it's really there, but you know.
through here? Through
Well,
your
I-
PowerPoint?
when I downloaded it and I put it over here, it was like an instant
Okay.
traffic cone. Okay, yeah, let's do it there. Movie that one. That was the best one.
Which one?
That movie's in TV.
That one.
Yeah, that one's the best one. Come on, come on.
All right.
Hey, did you ever hear about that rumor that's going around about butter? No? Okay, well, I don't want to spread it. Okay, there it is. Okay. All right, cool.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Ready? Wow.
full screen it. Okay. Okay. Wait. Okay. You guys want to sit down? You just sit right there. Okay, I'm gonna sit there. All right, ready? Well, okay. So I was gonna say this like a whole 10 minutes ago, but I just want to say that, I've been waiting for this moment for like a whole 9 to 10 months, and I'm just super happy that this is happening. So without further ado, enchant. Psych. There you are. Okay. All right. Okay, volume. It's fine. I think this is as loud as it goes. It's gotta be. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. No. Yeah, okay.
Did you already check right here?
Yeah. Let's see if there's something wrong with this computer, man.
I know.
Can you see if IT can fix it? 'Cause there's-
Go.
Change device app. Try that one.
Try that. Yeah, you can click on it and see what it does.
Get back over here.
That didn't work.
That didn't work either.
Okay, go back. Go back to. Go ahead and give it a test right over here.
Where?
Go ahead and hit play on this just to test it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
There is a house with a garden. Floral walls line the trees. Poke my head through a window. Air was fresh, all was green. was ripe, how it could flow far above you. Fill it with life, make it a home, how it could grow. So if I lay down and let the roots grow, would it make me whole again? And if barren wine could touch this ground of
Wow, that was so good. Oh man. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I've already watched it like 20 times. It's fine. Okay, let me get this back up here. Wow, wow. Whew, man, that's a good feeling. That's a really good feeling. I mean, it's great. Okay, so, now that you've seen it, we're gonna go like a little bit more behind the scenes to show y'all, kind of more of what it took to make this thing happen, because there's a lot put into it. So first, I'm gonna pass it off to, I forgot I wasn't even in presentation mode. Okay, pass it off to Clarissa to talk about beatboards. Here you go, Clarissa.
Hi, my name's Clarissa, and I was one of the beatboard artists and storyboard artists. So here you have a beatboard, and what's a beatboard is it's actually a visual outline for an animation or story. So it hits the critical moments that we're trying to show in the animation. So one of the important moments that we had was the siblings are seen in the back of the yard, them practicing magic, and you see the sun and moon rise, and you see the siblings magic together. As you see, the scene has changed a lot. Faces on the ground. My original creation right there. It's like the magic explodes with light and color, and the siblings left in awe and appreciation. Now, the thing you could see about these, we created these in the very beginning, and as you see, a lot of it has changed. The layout, their designs, but these things are created first so that we understand what's gonna happen in the story. And so and then after this, the storyboards are created. And I'm gonna pass it off to Madeline, who was one of the storyboard artists.
Hello. My name is Madeline. I was the art director and one of the storyboard artists for Enchant. Right after we make the beat boards, what we do then is we move on to the storyboards. And a storyboard is essentially just, it's like a blueprint for where we want the animation to go. It involves the layout, the movement, the character acting. It basically displays all of that in a bunch of sequential drawings. So it goes from one drawing to the next, like one scene to the next, and it's just a baseline for us, for the animators to go off of. And then once we have the storyboards down, through iteration and all of that, we make an animatic. So, you're gonna play that, Hampton? Okay, cool.
It might break.
That's okay. I'll just let it play.
that was what originally the vision we had for the project. So basically what an animatic is like those were our storyboards, and what we did is we timed them out to sounds, and like we added camera moves, we added like basically just the timing and the noise that you'd hear, which all went out the window. So that's fine. So like even at this stage, like there's a lot of changes and iterations that go into it. Like due to time constraints, we ended up having to cut out certain camera movements, certain whole scenes even, and even though we mapped it out and we had it all planned, even then we still had to get rid of some things, and that's just how the industry is in general, which is fine. So yeah, I'm gonna pass it off to Hampton now.
All right. That was beautiful. Let me get back onto the screen. All right, so sound is a very important thing in animation. As Madeline told you, those sounds kind of went completely out of the window. But before I talk about that, I want to say that, it's really important in film in general, but it's super important in animation that sound works and sounds right. Because if you're a character, tiptoeing on some grass, well, you got to make sure not only that the sound hits those points that your foot hits the ground, but also that it is the grass sound, because you can't have somebody walking down high heels as your sound clip for somebody walking on grass. So I mean, what happened to those sounds? Well, there was always a song that we were going to fall back on for this animation, but it kind of felt like there was a bit of a void. So that's when all those other sounds were getting put into this animation. And unfortunately, during production, we no longer had a sound person just because we were already wearing so many hats. And so there was this kind of dilemma I had where I was like, I don't even know what's going to happen with it. But then, this one fateful day, I was listening to this band, the Happy Fits. I don't know if you even see this, but if you see this, thank you so much. I asked them to use their song, and they generously, gave me the okay. And about those other sounds, well, don't tell my parents, but I spent over $50 on those extra sounds and never used them. Sorry, parents. But that's okay, because I can use them later. All right, so behind the scenes, AKA the skeleton. We've already kind of been going in that direction, but I'm gonna go a little farther. So this is our production planning chart. This is how we keep on task and make sure that stuff is getting turned in and finished. This set of rows right here, these are all our shots, and each one of these columns is a step that we have to take for every single shot to make sure it happens. So you can see there's a lot of stuff there. It's kind of overwhelming, but it actually is pretty amazing. And Madeline's gonna skip through a few different points in time during our span. Now see, this looks pretty complete, but don't be fooled, because this area right here is super spicy. We're gonna get into that later. And now flip it to that last one. Oh, here, do one more. I mean, look at that. Look at all that green. That's a good feeling. That's a really good feeling. And if you could go skip ahead one more. All right, so this is one of a few of our schedules that Angelica made. Would you like to talk about it a little bit, Angelica?
I guess the quick and dirty of it was we were never on schedule. So I made this. We tried to give about 9 days per scene to the animators, and then give about 5 days for each other part. That did not happen. So when trying to consider some of the scheduling stuff, I just had to make sure to keep track of days that we are both in school as well as like the days that we're available to either work from home or have free time or, family work, that type of thing. I color coded it, so each color is a different person. So Hampton, as our lead animator, he is the blue. He had a lot of things to do, but of course, in the other sections of the like color, cleanup, compositing, all that kind of stuff, there was people doing stuff the entire process. So yeah, this in the end didn't really matter. We got something done though, so that works.
Yeah, we were. It was good to have it. We were following it for a good while, and then it just completely thrown out the window at some point. All right, you can go ahead and skip. Okay, so timing charts. Oh my God, this is my favorite part. This is my bread and butter. So basically, each of these images right here are key poses, which key poses are storytelling drawings. Well, what are storytelling drawings? Basically, it kind of describes the movement throughout one scene. So I can have this pose and then walk over here and have another pose. Those two drawings alone, those are key poses. And everything in between are the in-betweens. And what timing charts do is they basically describe time and space to help you navigate and communicate that movement from point A to point B. And you can see here, I'm not sure if you can read it, but I had timings for almost every piece of that man's body, down to his necklace. And you don't have to do it this way. There's not a right way to do timing charts, but this is where my brain was at the time. And yeah, I'm really proud of those. You can switch it. Okay, what are you looking at? I don't know. Wait, yes I do. So you're looking at one scene right now. Above this picture would be where the drawing area would be. And all of these layers are just a smidge of what goes into the actual just one shot. So every one of these little panels, those are all individual drawings, as well as all those little orange rectangles, as well as everything up there. Those are all individual drawings. And this is not even the full scene. These like 5 columns right here, they're not even open. So just wrap your head around that. This is kind of what we deal with on a day-to-day basis. And I love organization, and I even got my little colors because I dig it like that. So yeah, that's some layers. Okay, so compositing. I'm gonna pass it off to Angelica to talk about compositing because she was our main compositor.
Hi. Again. So I composited most of the night scenes, which was most of the scenes, I guess. And you can go to the next slide. Before I guess we get right into the compositing, we have some drawings of like what one frame in one shot looks like from beginning to end. So this is the rough. So this is where Hampton is trying to get those general shapes out. Nothing's on model, that type of thing. Then the next one would be the tie down. So that's when things get a little bit more on model, but they are not always. So the next one in cleanup and color, I would have to fix anything that was off model, or if there was a weird shape. The animator is having to worry about a lot of little things moving, so sometimes shapes look really weird. So I just go back and make sure that it seems and it flows nicely, looking at all those little details, as well as trimming the lines to make sure that they are complete shape and we don't have any flashing of a line that shouldn't be there. Along with the color, so the color we used vector art. Vector art is the easiest way, I guess, to say it would be a solid color, while bitmap, that's stuff that's usually used in Adobe Photoshop and things like that. It's minute little pixels all around the place. So we used vector art, and because of that, things like gradients and nice shading and that type of thing were a little bit harder to pull off, especially in the short amount of time that we had. So a lot of the depth had to be created in the compositing phase because of that. You can go to the next one. So in the compositing, this is where I added lots of lighting. So to make up for the fact that there was not as much shadow, I would actually tend to lower all of the color, or desaturate and darken most of the colors first, and use lighting to bring out the shadows and highlights and that type of stuff. And that was a way to cheat it. It could have looked a lot better if we had the time to add in the shadows and that type of thing. But yeah, I used the various amounts of effects in the compositing phase. I am not only doing lighting though, I am also retiming stuff. So if there is a loop of animation that needs to be played out for a little bit longer, I may copy and paste those frames, make sure that they fit within the sequence, so then it plays through nicely. Yeah. I guess because I have the last stuff in the PowerPoint, I get to say the first of the final words from all of us. I just wanted to say that typically these projects create a lot of animosity between groups, and conflicts are hard between people, and I am really, really grateful to have such an awesome group around me, that I do not hate them, and that's like pretty cool. That's like awesome. So this was a really awesome project to be on, and I am totally looking forward to continuing to work with these guys and make even better stuff, because I don't think that this is the best, to be quite frank. But yeah, I'm not sure who's gonna be close. Okay, there you go, man.
Okay. Hi again. So my final words, like you were saying, this group has been through so much. Like I can't even tell you how much we went through just this past year. I didn't actually even know them for a whole year yet, but already we've just been through so much, and I kind of see them as like a family now. By these past 7, 8 months, we've just been talking every single week, building that relationship, building that bond. And it was a lot of days, I'll tell you, I was just frustrated and burnt out over this project. But I never gave up because I knew they were depending on me and I was also depending on them. So it was a very just back and forth, give and take. Nobody was ever really selfish. Nobody, like, we never had big conflicts that we could not solve. And let me tell you, I did not even get to see the final project until just now, and I almost cried. But yeah, I was just like, even though it was like a really big struggle, and I can't even tell you how many emotions I felt every single day working on this. I would do this all over again if I had the choice to. That's just how I feel. So. Okay.
Is it my turn? I didn't read the script. I guess my final words will be that, I love this group and we're going to stay friends because we revealed a lot of bonds, like Miss Flincham and all of us has said, to the late nights in Discord at 3 a.m., waking up everybody. Sorry, guys. But yeah.
Well, it's pretty much the same for me. This has been a long time coming. I'm so happy that we got to see an actual completed animation and got to share it with all of you today. Yeah, I love these guys. They're the best. And I just, 10 months of hard work, like, Like from the conception of the idea to the finalization, it was all worth it, and I'm so happy and proud to be friends with these guys. So okay, here, Hampton.
You guys can go sit down.
Wait, what the heck? Wow. You say it like that. You know what? I quit.
You got to feel what's coming your way. All right. Wait till they get seated. I just wanted to start off by saying, when I came to this program, I was really excited. And that was because, I knew I was coming for something that I wanted to do. I knew that I was pursuing my dream. And that excitement hasn't left me at all throughout this whole program. If I would have told myself that I would have been a part of something, a part of this team that made what we watched today, I'd be like, no, you're crazy. You're crazy. But, the truth of it is that it did happen. We made it happen. And it was possible due to the hearts of my team, as well as everyone in this room encircling them and believing that not only we could finish this project, but that we would be standing here today. Sure, things did get spicy. There were arguments. I might have lost some brain cells. I might have injured my hands. I probably have back problems. There was many times where I stood up till 3 a.m, went to school 8 a.m, and did it all over again on multiple occasions. But that's okay, because I'm walking out of this program a different person than when I than when I came in. And it's because of the people here. It's because of my teachers. It's because of my friends. And it's because of not only, the connection that we have with each other, but it's just the drive and motivation that all of them have to continue to do what they do. These teachers are just so fantastic. Like, you guys don't even know. The people that are in this program, they don't know, because, not a day went by where I didn't feel that they were doing everything that they could to make sure that our goals and our dreams come true. And that means the world to me. And I'll always think back, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now, and I'll remember this time as a really great time, because the time that I've got to share with all of you here in this program, and all the support that my family has given me and my friends have given me, has made it just the best time in the world. So thank you for everything, and I hope that as time goes on, we can continue to share those bonds and make things even greater than what we saw today. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you to the Enchant group. Again, you all are amazing. It's been amazing to be your instructors. It's been our greatest joy, and it's been a gift to us to have you. The fact that you chose Forsyth Tech, the fact that you chose the digital effects and animation program, you chose us, right? And so we're grateful for that. It's been just the best journey ever. So let's keep going with this journey. We have our next group coming up. A little bit emotional after that. The whole thing, because this was also the first time I saw their final animation as well, and it's actually going to be the same for every group that's presenting today. It'll be the first time. I saw their progress last week, but everybody put in a lot of hours in between last week and today. So our next group, or the next project, is Urban Neon. So Cheyenne, come on down. all your stuff on the OneDrive? Yes. Okay. I don't have a presentation though. My animation is on the presentation folder. But can you pull up the other folder that has all the other stuff on it too? So, is it in this one or is it in the final animation is? So that's my final cut. Okay. And then pull up a separate tab, and then open up the shared OneDrive where all my presentation stuff is. How do I control what's up here? Okay, so, oh, yeah, that's right, that's still over there. Oh, so the first thing I want to is my head. Okay, so what you're going to have to do when you pull stuff up, you'll have to slide it to the right. You want this one? I think you should be able to speak right into it. You'll have to hold it kind of close. There it goes. It's trying. Sure.
So when I want to go over there, I move it which way?
Okay. To the right. So should we do it in slideshow mode right there? Oh. Okay, so we'll do it right here. Can you see where it says slideshow mode up there?
Hello, everyone. My name is Cheyenne Wolf, and I am the sole producer of my project. I like to think I'm an all-in-one animator, kind of. I know how to composite. I know how to 2D animate and draw. I mostly like to make stories, though. But first, I wanted to say, like, how proud I am of my peers. Like, we made it here. We finally did it. We finished our projects. And I cried when I saw the first project. It was so beautiful. So proud of you guys. Like, you did it. And I didn't get to see how hard everybody worked. I know everybody worked really hard, but I was one of the students that was studenting from home, I guess. So I didn't get to see the hardships that everybody else got to see on a day-to-day basis. But I know I busted my butt. I'm really glad that they got to show you their really organized side of things, because my whole project has been nothing but chaos and scribbled notes in my notebook. I had a schedule. I kind of stuck to it. But there was some hurdles. I learned a lot doing it by myself, really. And then I also was able to source music from a local musician, somebody I know personally. They go by Dope Deity, and they're from Winston-Salem if you guys wanted to check them out. But he is the producer for the music that is part of my project. So, and unlike my very prepared peers, I don't have a PowerPoint, but I do have things to show you. So I want to go over some of the elements of my animation. So I only got one semester to do mine, and I wanted to do as much of animation procedures as possible in a short amount of time. So I crammed a whole lot of things that I learned over my several years of going through the program. So I've got something called rotoscoped animation. I've got parallax animation. It's basically all 2D animation. I've got compositing. I've got footage that's also composited into the animation also.
Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with your pre-production stuff?
Yeah. So let's do the characters. So the stars of my project, Urban Neon, I actually have a lot of cats at home, so I was able to gather all of the reference footage that I would ever need. But two of my cats, named Misty and Data, those are the stars of the show, but their names in the animation is Nova and Star. there's Star. And those are my babies. I have them at home. And Miss Flincham made keychains of them so you can take them home too. So I got a ton of reference footage. I got a ton of reference footage. Some of it I wasn't able to use. A lot of it was definitely a very awesome learning experience. And then they both have like 2 separate personalities, and you could definitely see that through the rotoscope, which was really cool. The storyboard, I think that there's one where it's all together. Oh no, the beats.
Yeah, which one?
Right here.
Okay.
So I'm not going to go over a lot of the technical stuff because group 1 kind of did that for me. But these were my beats. This is the basic concept of my animation. And because I was only doing this for 1 semester, I was trying to keep my workflow simple and quick, which is why I chose rotoscoped animation, because I thought that would be easy because of all my cats. And I thought wrong. Rotoscope animation is so hard, but it was so cool. It was worth it in the long run. So what rotoscope animation is you take footage and then you like make that footage image sequences, like you would in a 2D animation. When I have the programs do that for me. But then I have to draw over each frame, which is very tedious. But we get to take each 2 frames out because we animate on 2s per Mr. Ricardo, right? We animate on 2s. But I wanted a simple love story. I wanted to include Winston-Salem. I wanted to include cats because I love cats. And there's my color palette. The projector's kind of killing that, but I tried to go with the vaporwave aesthetic. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's kind of like in the social media right now, or it was when I started 4 months ago.
Okay.
Show a couple of the references.
Okay.
So go to data. And then I want to show them the PNGs. This one. So for an example of how many frames like 1 rotoscope animation is, if I like flip through that, is it going to show them all of them?
So if we go to, let's pull it up on here and see it. Yes. Okay, so let's close those.
There's data. So this is an example of my reference footage. And so I would have to take each frame. Are you clicking or am I clicking? Are you clicking? I take each frame and I have to draw over each one of these frames individually and then stack them on top of each other to make it look like the cat's walking in place instead of forward. That was really difficult, by the way. But I did this twice. I've got one for Nova and one for Star, which you guys will see very, very soon. And then there was a lot of those, a whole lot of those. And then, without, I guess, further ado, I was going to show the animation, and then afterwards I was going to show my animatic as well.
Okay, so you want to go straight to that?
Yep.
All right, so, all right, where's your animation?
It's going to be in the presentation thing. Did you want to wait?
Yeah, we're going to turn the lights out.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much. It was four months of my hard work. Blood, sweat, and tears right there. Okay, I will definitely say it's tough when you're trying to do it solo. When you're your only motivator and there's nobody else that's like you need to do this for, other than a grade or your teachers, it's hard. Like there's nobody to check in on you or nobody that you want to tell, hey, I did this today. So like making your own schedule is part of the learning process, and it definitely helped me grow as an adult. And it was very scary at first because I didn't know what to do. I still don't know what I'm doing, but I'm figuring it out. And I feel like that's the first step of growing up. So it definitely changed my outlook, just this one project. It's 4 months alone, especially on animation. But I'm definitely happy that I'm here. I'm doing what I want to do. This stuff makes me happy, as tedious as it is, as stressful as it has been. It's wonderful. You guys are wonderful. The experience has been wonderful. And I made something wonderful. I'm really proud of what I've made. But you guys got to see it polished and finished. I also wanted to show you my animatic so you could see where I started from, where all of my little ideas birthed. These are about to be some really rough sketches, you guys. This part was pretty long and drawn out. I had other plans here, but those plans didn't come to fruition. But that happens sometimes. Thank you guys. That's all I wanted to present today. I did want to say a big thank you to my support group, most of them are here with me today. So I'm really happy about that they get to share this experience with me too. So I appreciate everybody's time today. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you so much, Cheyenne. Again, I just want to mention that These students are working on several of them have part-time jobs. They're taking other classes. So they're having to do all of this work often in their free time, as most of you know, because you're having to sacrifice, your child or your significant others or your friends' time. You probably didn't get to see them as much over the past couple of months, so that they could accomplish what they've done so far. So, I mean, really great work. And with Cheyenne, she started this project in January. So we went all the way through pre-production, concept art, all of that within a 3.5-month time period. So great work, Cheyenne. I love you too. Okay, so our next group is the arena. So that would be Josh, Brenton, and Michael. All right. Everything you need, is it in this one right here?
Yeah, and then go to Brenton, Josh, and Michael,
Okay.
and then I could just start wherever. You could, if you put that as the main tab, that's okay. And I could put just the one as the main tab, and I could click through it.
Is that gonna be good?
Yeah, that should be good. I'll let you know if we have any issues. Okay, can everyone hear me? All right, okay. So our project that we worked on is the arena, and it is a pirate-themed animation. I'm going to start off with the characters for the arena, and then I'll take you through the assignment. I was the one who primarily did the character concept, so I'm going to begin with that. So for our first character is Lorcan, and Lorcan is a sort of more standard pirate. He also has inspirations from Conan the Barbarian, that sort of style to his design. And this is some of the earliest designs of Lorcan, and a lot of these I would work on throughout and did a lot of different iterations. Lorcan, in fact, is one of the ones that he stayed rather consistent. So as you could see, there are various ideas I had that I went through for his design as I went through the design process. So a lot of changing in the shapes of the head, the boots, and those various things for the character. I'm going to have to take this. Let me actually do this. It's probably going to be easier if yeah. If you could put it on both, that'd be really nice. Okay, character concepts. Yeah. Is there a way you can do it? Okay. So next up, we have the second character in my project. This is Cazor, and he is a pirate parrot. He's also has sort of a zombie skeleton look. He was based originally off of cockatoos, so his design sort of changed over time. So as you can see, you have sort of a cross between the cockatoo and then some zombie elements and some skeleton elements, and he would change from that and back to bird, back to skeleton. here's one of his very early designs. This was even before names were decided, where he was the pure sort of skeleton design. That ended up being way too hard to animate, so that was avoided. And eventually, I took the skull and put that as his headpiece, as his head. So that is sort of his finalized look there. So he went through a ton of different iterations. And then now I'm going to go through our main villain of the project, which I also designed. I primarily worked on the character designs. So, and we're going to go to the reference boards first. So when designing him, we thought of like various like skeleton pirate designs, and also Blackbeard was one of the historical inspirations for him. So a lot of the designs would be inspired by that. And this is one of the older designs for him. So he also went through various designs. This is the very first design for him. So that's how much he changed if you see the last design. And these are some drawings for his sword without his hat. So there were all kinds of things I tried. Eventually, I went back to the earlier Blackbeard stuff, and I wanted to get the fire in the beard, like Blackbeard would put like cigars in his beard. But Miss Flinchum came up with the idea of putting it in the mustache, and so that really helped with his design. And eventually I'd try stuff like I'd change up what candle it is. I'd even change up like the hairstyle. It's metallic, is it seaweed? So really going through that, eventually going with the sort of standard hair for the character design. I'm going to go back and actually show you for Lorcon the action pose and model sheet. So when the characters were finished, I would go in and I would make the action poses and model sheet. You've already seen this from the previous projects, except the action poses were something I would do, where I would create sort of different, showing the character sort of in movement, and I have the model sheet for Lorcon right there, and I'll go through that for Caesar as well, and then Scalus. So there's some shots of him flying. Here's the final 360 degrees. I had one of his wings in and one of his wings out. So just showing just how much of a process it is, simply figuring out how these characters are going to look. And here's the final for Scalus there. And it's also, a lot of it is also figuring out how if the design is too complicated or if it's too much, just finding the right balance of making it practical and at the same time. And then here is our final character, the monster character, and sort of another antagonist in the arena. This is Mollusk, and Mollusk is based on sort of moray eels and also crab, which was originally based off crabs. The crab elements were later removed from his design. And even before that, he had a more skeletal design. So here's him. This ended up being rather tacky, so I removed the crab legs in his design. And eventually I added lots of scarring to him to show a sort of rugged look to the creature. And here is Mollusk's final stuff. Here's his action poses. And then right here we have his final model sheet. Okay, so major product 2, let me, hard to navigate. Okay. let me put this back in here so I could see the, yeah. Where to Brendan, Josh, and Michael, and then concepts. Okay. I'm going to go to environment next. Okay, so here is the environment we designed. So of course it is the arena. So the environment is sort of a skeleton arena idea, and it sort of had a graveyard of ship aesthetics. We looked at we looked at different movies and things like that for its design, and I went through and did a couple of sketches of the arena, and then you did.
All right.
Move it.
So I'm Michael. I'm the 3D modeler and compositor for the group. And
You have to move it.
one moment. For the So my job was to make a 3D model of the arena itself for future use, and for the background itself that you will see in the animation. So this is just the forward shot that you would see that would for some of the stuff. Overhead shot. And then we get to see some of the inside of the arena, and this is without any textures and still very basic compared to the final, which still can be worked on. Yeah. All right, here you go.
Okay. Back to okay. Okay. And here are some of the the original sort of mood boards. I already sort of showed you this in the character process, but this is some of the mood boards that were utilized when we were even before then, and some of the some of those were utilized and for characters. So that's gonna relatively quick, and the the early reference stuff for characters. And then before I show you the animation, I'm going to show off the beat boards. This is something both me and Josh, when I would draw these, and then Josh and me would look over them. This was done at the very beginning, with some of the beat boards. So here's our various beat boards. We have you've also seen this with Hampton's group. So, but I'll also take you through what we had, and some of these later changed when the project was finalized. And that is the main points of our story. And now I'm going to go directly to the final animation. So most of this got finished. There were some parts that did not get done, but for the most part, we have it in a finished state. You may want to get the stuff set up.
I'll download it real quick for you.
I could play it from there too. So it depends on how you want to do it.
Let's go ahead and download it.
brush, and then animatic. I'm gonna let you go to talk about your. Yep.
Alrighty. Hi, everyone. My name's Josh Leonard. I worked on the animatic you're about to watch and some of the cleanup for the actual animation. When we were actually doing the animatic, we were still in the development of designing the characters, so they were really rough at the time. And you'll be able to see that we were still using some of the rough designs. So just a fair heads up warning on that. Thank you. And here you go, Brendan.
Yep, certainly. So now we're gonna head back to the okay. Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah. Okay, so next up we have the next up we have the animated rough. So after what we did at the beginning of last semester is I began the animation part, and as you're going to see, these are going to have the timing charts on them. Some of them were rotoscoped, so Cesar was rotoscoped to some actual bird footage. This is rather old. So, and we're going to go through a lot of these. I'll mainly just, I'm not going to show you the full ones, but as you can see, some of the timing is on them, and you could see a lot of the animation sort of in the beginning. This was before the cleanup, the color, and the compositing. So the more rough animation. And this is what took probably the most time out of the project. So these are some of what would later be utilized. See? Some of the other ones. The timing charts on them. stories, and then after that, so Josh did much of the cleanup on them, and then eventually Michael went in and Michael did the compositing. So, Michael, if you want to show that, yeah, okay, okay. Well, Michael did the compositing part, so I'll just go through his compositing work. A lot of this you saw in the final animation. So there's a lot of the stuff Michael did in the compositing with this. So, and you've seen a lot of this already. So that's the compositing work. Michael especially did really good work with all of the water effects and a lot of that animation which was utilized. And then finally, when it was all said and done, me and Josh went in and we found a lot of the sounds that were utilized. So a lot of these we found for the wind and the various movements and character sounds. So. As you can see there. And that is it for the arena.
All right. Thank you, Michael and Josh and Brenton. Nice work, y'all. You did great. Okay, so we have 3 more projects to go. We are going to do our next project, which is Styrax Quest. We have that project, and then we'll take a brief intermission. Johnny, would you like to come up here? If you like, I can go ahead. If you want to come stand up here with me, you can, and we'll kind of go through some of Johnny's process. So Johnny did a beautiful animation, and major kudos, because similar to some of the other groups, as you can see so far, we've had a huge variation in terms of each group having a different number of members that were actively working on the project. So Johnny did a bulk of this work himself. We'll start with some of the pre-production. Let's see. We can start with some beat boards. All right. So again, this animation was called Styrax Quest. It's actually going to be a 2-parter. It's a work in progress. So what we did is, because the animation originally was going to, I think, exceed that one, we tried to have the students set a 1-minute kind of time marker, because if you do the calculations, that's over 2,000 drawings basically that they have to do in a matter of 3.5 months. So we try to set everybody at that 1-minute time marker, and this one was right at about a minute, but then we had to factor in, when we got into production in January, that Johnny was going to be doing a bulk of the animation for this project, and it was a very ambitious project, and I just have to give Johnny major props, because Johnny had to troubleshoot a lot of different types of animation that some of the other groups didn't have, in terms of the different types of challenges, one of those being dinosaurs, right? Quadrupeds. So as Cheyenne, since Cheyenne animated cats, can attest, when you're it's one thing dealing with 2 legs, we do a lot of prep in terms of our drawing courses and figure drawing, but we don't focus as much in the program on quadrupeds. So a lot of this becomes really kind of experimentation. So Johnny not only taking on quadrupeds, but also dinosaurs and of various varieties. So what we have here are a couple of Johnny's beat boards. And I'll just click through a couple of these. So again, beat boards are really showcasing just the major plot points. You don't really see the extra information added in there. These are the major plot points just for the viewer to know exactly what is happening. So as you can see, our dinosaur friends are fleeing from asteroids right now and looking for safety. They eventually reach safety, but, and this is where part 2 is going to come in with Johnny's project, because once the, well, I'll save that for the end, but there's something else that happens after the dinosaurs find some safety that's really interesting in Johnny's story. So those are just the beat boards. Okay. Then we'll touch on some character designs a little bit. So again, Johnny had all sorts of variations with regard to the character design. And as you can see, there's even little notes. So a lot of the groups that have presented thus far, pretty much every group that you've seen today, usually had some sort of notations off to the side of their characters. You know, just things, again, that would help the animator later on down the pipeline to know, why is this specific thing that is on the character, why is it important, right? So in this case, I believe the notations that we see here are some of Johnny explaining, you know, the different types of designs that are on the characters' physical bodies. So each one had a completely different design, as you can see through some of that wavy design process right there. Again, with these characters, they were taken through design processes in terms of, you know, as you can see with the eyelashes, we're experimenting a little bit with the eyes. So again, there were a lot of options that Johnny went through. Again, you can see that over there to the bottom left. We kind of tried a couple different things for the top of the dinosaur's head. Again, each character's name is listed on here and different patterns, as you can see right through here. So again, trying some different patterns because Johnny was really trying to experiment with this information gets divulged in part 2, so it's not something you'll see in part 1. But in part 2, there's an explanation for these variations in design on the characters' bodies. So this is one of the environmental concepts that the student went through. This would be, I think this was right there at the very end. So this would technically be at the end of part 2. Now, what you're seeing here, these are something called color scripts. And I think it's the first time that we're mentioning this during the presentation, but the color scripts really help the students figure out a couple of things. One, how the color transitions throughout the animation, and also the lighting. So based on different parts of the animation, and if you look at a panel of color scripts, if you go home and you Google it, you'll notice for major animations and films that there's a significant jump in color. So for instance, something that we see a lot of in this particular panel is there's a lot of reds, right? There's a lot of really warm colors. Red, quite often in the industry, is used for a couple things. Usually it can be a signifier of something dangerous is happening. The character could be more sinister. There's a couple of reasons why red is used in animation. You might think of the character Jafar, right, from Aladdin, and notice that he has most of his attire is black and red. So red, again, kind of being a signifier in animation. So with the color scripts, what we're doing is we're kind of laying out, the kind of where the major conflict is happening in an animation. In this case, if we were to see the color scripts all on a panel together, you'd see that these areas of reds in Johnny's animation, that signifies the conflict and in the order that it's happening in the animation. And then if I were to go back, obviously when we go to this image, brighter, right? Brighter greens, yellows, just those natural, happy-go-lucky colors. A lot of the times you'll see greens and yellows, just those brighter, warmer, happy colors, usually at the conclusion of an animation. So I think that's showcased really well right here for Johnny. Again, here's some more of the characters. There were quite a few. And most of these got animated, as you'll see shortly. So these are some of the model sheets. More character designing. And as mentioned, so Johnny, again, had to tackle not only quadrupeds, but animating flight as well. So okay, so there's some character designs. Let's see. Do you want to say anything about the story, Johnny? Because I know there were some really great details that I'm probably not going to get exactly right. Okay, so specifically, would you want to tell them about...
I think I should find out
Show the animatic? Okay, let's do that. Where's your is it this one?
yeah.
Okay.
No, I never put music, just sound effects.
Okay. Sound effects are perfect. Let's see. There it is. Okay, so that was the animatic, and we still have the animation, but real quick, so the animation, again, this was quite a huge chunk. So what Johnny and I did is we devised a plan that we would focus on the first half, and then we would do the second half later on this year. But there's some really cool stuff that happens after the dinosaurs find safety. Would you want to explain what happens to them?
Well, all I did is I made something special about the asteroid. It had a secret, got a power that was inside. Once it emerges from the water, those who are close enough end up getting a fetch from the helmets. I did. My inspiration was like the Avatar The Last Airbender. People use bending in the helmets. Well, I made decided to make the dinosaurs find a way to get helmet powers, even shadow ones, but use it to carefully without being corrupted. And trying to find it. How to survive extinction but with element powers. And I made the god. I made a kind of dinosaur god that told what to do to save the surviving dinosaurs, take them to a new home to survive.
So these powers, they helped them survive, right?
Yeah, but some I made some dinosaurs got too corrupted that made them insane. Some of the characters, the early ones, twisted, got insane. But some managed to control themselves, but to stop the corrupted ones.
So some of the dinosaurs, so as you can see, again, that's why we did part 1 and part 2, because some of the dinosaurs become corrupted, right? And so at the very, very end, though, right here, what's happened here? Have the corrupted dinosaurs gone away, or are they still?
Yeah, they've been defeated. Good ones found safety to live in peace.
Yes. So that's wonderful. Okay, so shall we? You want to show the animation now? Okay. Let's see. It's hard to see over there. Okay, so your final animation, let's see. Is it under here, Johnny? Urban. Okay, so it's not that one.
I don't think
Okay.
I don't know if
Okay, is it this one?
I never had to do. It's the starting one. Those are complete. Typically want to make the seats work around.
Okay, so that was one of the shots.
I mean, I never got. I don't think I sent the photo to you, but I think you never found it.
Was the folder in an email? Do you know?
I put it on. I put. No, I never did.
Okay, so I see audio here.
It's not with the other. I never got everything put in there.
You don't think it's in here?
No.
Okay. Let's see. And these are the PNGs.
I'm not gonna say
Okay. All right, so we can't find the final animation. It was beautiful. And Johnny did some amazing things with the effects. So what we will do is we'll send out a link for that animation so that everybody can view the final version at a later time. But it was beautiful. So what we are going to do now, let's turn all the lights back on for just a moment, is we are going to go, I'm pulling up my schedule, I'm sorry. We're going to do a brief intermission, so about 5 to, yes, let's, Johnny, good job, by the way. And again, we'll definitely share that final animation in a link because it really, he did such a great job. Very proud of you, Johnny. So we are going to go on a brief intermission. After this, we do have 2 projects to present. One is Creep by Victoria and Zoe. And the other is The Hall. The last one I'm really excited about because that was our only gaming level for the semester. So we are finishing off with a gaming level. before we go on a brief intermission, I just want to announce that there are some, tastefully, might I add, and artistically presented, there are some explicit lyrics in the final 2 projects. I just want to mention that before the intermission, just in case. If that's not something, that if the explicit lyrics are something that you may not want to hear, then feel free to take an extra break and walk around and look at some of the tables, because after we finish with our final 2 projects, that's where we're going to go, is walk around and take a look at some of our Comic-Con tables. Again, they are artistically presented, and there's only 3 words in total. But go ahead and feel free to take a quick 5-10 minute break. Bathrooms are located if you step directly outside of the auditorium and make a left. There are a few bathrooms to the right side of you, but there are also bathrooms on the left side as well, larger bathrooms. Oh, okay. So when we come back, we'll play it. Okay?
Yeah.
That sounds great.
I thought I'd show you where in my truck if you want to.
Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead and pull it up. All right. So, do you want me? I'll plug it in right down here. Oh, that's okay, because we're going to, as soon as everybody comes back in, we're going to play it. I'm very excited. Do you know which one? Because I'll save a copy of it onto the desktop.
First, I'm fine. I put it in.
Thank you so much.
Great production. Your students are amazing.
I found it.
I'm so glad that you shared that you took with you for me. Thank you for coming.
Oops. I found it.
There we go. This is great. All right, Johnny. This is great. Once, I'll go ahead and play it for y'all. Let's see. We'll turn off the little lights too. Do you want me to present it to your guys? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna save it. Yeah, you did a great job, Johnny. Your mom wants to know, is that a goddess dinosaur? Yeah? Yeah?
Like part of view.
Okay, so yeah, let's save a copy onto the desktop really quick. All right, so you said we probably don't don't need that one. Is it, which one is
It's
it,
that one.
Johnny? Is this one?
Yeah.
Okay, copy. And we'll paste. Okay, great. All right, now we can remove, eject your USB. So I think we're good now.
Yeah.
Great, Johnny. I'm glad you had that. still waiting on a few? I think so. Okay, we'll give it just another minute. What's up? So when Cheyenne made the comment about animating on 2s, I was about to say, hey, Clarissa, you're gonna animate that shot on 1s, right? Right? That next shot for part 2 with Rosie and JoJo? 1s? I'm not saying don't get... Hampton, what was that saying? I'm not saying don't get sleep, but... Yes. Really? Let's see what's going on there. All right. I'm not seeing anything. Oh, you know what, Lathan, you know what you probably saw? We looked at Johnny's animation because we found it. That's probably what you're talking about. Okay. So I think most of us are back. So we'll go ahead and get started with part 2. So again, we have 2 more groups to present, and then we can walk around to our little Comic-Con tables. But luckily, during the break, we were able to find Johnny's final animations. So we're going to play that really quick, and then we'll start with our next group. So we'll pull this up. Okay. All right. And so I'd also like to just say really quick that there were even more shots that Johnny animated. They just have to make it to the cleanup and coloring phase next and compositing. But there were some really difficult, quadruped walk cycles for those dinosaurs at an aerial view at that. So adding to the complicatedness of that shot. So there was a few that weren't even on screen that were animated as well. But again, great job, Johnny. Okay, so without further ado, our next group is Creep with Victoria and Zoe. Okay, so do you all need this?
Yeah.
Right here. So I think there's the, is it in that folder?
Yeah, it should be. Yep. Oop.
Okay. So
We should just do a slideshow.
Okay, that wasn't.
Okay, that didn't happen last time. So this is not popping up on there.
So maybe we'll take it to the other screen first.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. I don't like that. Why can't it just work like it did last time? Oh my god.
You'll have to drag it to the right. Yeah, I know.
Okay. Why is this so difficult? Well, now I understand why everyone had a hard time. Okay, great. All right. Hello, my name is Victoria Bartle, and I am the director of Creep.
And my name is Zoe Backus. I am the assistant director for CREEP.
To start out the animation, we did mood boards. These are just research of how we wanted our environments and pretty much the whole animation to look. We started out doing fashion, looking up clothes references because this animation is based on the 1940s. So we wanted to make sure that the clothing of the time period matched the whole, environment and animation. We also did some furniture, decor, anything like that. This animation takes place in a speakeasy type bar, so a lot of the decorations are just like oddities and things like that kind of fill out the bar. An inspiring color for this animation is red. I wanted to make it very warm, very inviting in the bar, so it seems very comforting. But also a sense of danger because this bar is not a normal bar. As you can see, this is our first character design. Her name is Lilith, and she is a vampire who sings for the bar. She's the first one who kind of hit off the whole list of characters that we will be having. I based her on Morticia Addams because I'm a big fan of like the Addams family, things like that. So I did starting off a few sketches of her, kind of getting the idea, and then drawing inspiration from Morticia Addams. Then I tried to give her her own unique spin by adding like web design into the dresses, kind of the eardrop earring that kind of resembles like a blood drop. Giving her those really iconic, really bright yellow eyes, things like that. Here are the band members. Even though that they aren't the main focus of the animation, I still wanted to work hard on making their designs look really unique for the animation. I based each character off a shape. The middle one is based off of squares, the tall one is based off of triangles, and the medium-sized guy there is based off of circles. So each of their shape kind of matches their personality, making them very unique. Sorry, making sure I have anything else. Oh, I wanted to give them clothing rather than just being open skeletons because animating individual bones is extremely hard. So putting clothes on them made them much simpler to animate. Okay, and then I will. Yeah, you're good.
All right. So I did the concept work for Frankenstein. Initially, when I designed him, I wanted him to be very cool, very gentlemanly, but also a tough guy, someone you wouldn't want to mess with, kind of like a bouncer at a club. So when I did the concept work, we tried these stitches with the clothing on his pants and his boots, which we decided not to go with because it kind of looked a little odd and it kind of distracted from his overall feel as well. And then again, we did the colors of his outfit to kind of match the kind of like creepy, dark aesthetic of the bar. And then after I got done doing the concept art, I also handed him over to Victoria to be stylized to keep it consistent. All right, and then I did the concept work for the Bride of Frankenstein as well. I designed her mainly like a 1940s housewife. And so I did the different dresses with the apron, kind of like a 1940s housewife, kind of like that mom vibe almost of like taking care of the home. And then when I handed her over to Victoria to be stylized, we kind of decided that she needed to be more curvy, more sassy, have more attitude with her. Just to kind of give her that vibe where she doesn't put up with any crap from anybody, like any waitress should. And then I did the mummy concept art as well. This one was a lot more simple. I thought sophisticated gentleman. When I first saw the animatic, I was like, okay, sophisticated gentleman would probably be a good way to go about that. The colors for him are more businessman, so almost someone you would see at a country club, sipping on maybe a martini or some champagne, somebody you'd see it somewhere like that. Then I did the werewolves. These two were my absolute favorite because I love wolves. When I first designed the female werewolf, I was thinking more so like a biker gang because wolves usually travel in packs anyways. So I did her initially with the black leather jacket, white T-shirt, kind of almost similar to the bikers in Greece. And then the male werewolf, thinking more like a brutish character. I was watching Supernatural at the time, so that's why there's a brown button-up shirt and jeans. And then I also used my design of a hellhound, which is in the top center of the male werewolf reference sheet, to kind of help me keep that brutish aesthetic for him. And then, like usual, Victoria took them and stylized them to keep them consistent with the animation as well.
Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. So for our zombie and lagoon guy character, Cheyenne Wolf helped us design these characters. She came up with the original overall concept, doing very different variations, and we worked together to kind of narrow down which character would work the best for the animation, as well as color. We play with different kinds of colors to kind of give us an overall of what would work best in the environment. The ghost character was I based him off of the 1940s military pilot. I came up with a little backstory of maybe he crashed during war or something, kind of that's why he's stuck in those clothing instead of being a normal looking ghost, I guess. And even though most of these characters that we have designed are mostly just background characters that might be up for 30 seconds at most, but it was very important to us to get designs to look as best as they could, because we wanted this animation to base more visually beautiful rather than mostly animation movement. We still put a lot of animation into it, but most of our focus was on the look of it itself. These are some environmental concepts. So what we started off to help us get ideas for background and color and lighting and so on. The top left was the very first concept. It represented the speakeasy of the bar, but I felt like it wasn't enough to seem like monsters went to this bar, like oddity kind of people went there. The top right one was pushing those designs a little more. This is my idea for the VIP section. We kind of push more of coffins being incorporated into the shapes and tearing up the curtains a little more, making it a little more wear. For the bottom left was our final concept, which is what we'll use to kind of give us an idea of what the animation would look like, depending on the art style, the lighting, and so on. And then the bottom right is the outside of the bar. And as you can see for this one, it's a very different color than from inside of the bar, because I wanted the feelings to contrast each other. So when you start outside of the bar, it's cold, it's rainy, and you look towards the door that has a warm light that's kind of drawing you in. This is the furniture designs. Cheyenne Wolf also helped me work on these. She was in charge of the main tables and bar chairs, as you can see. She did many variations for these as well, and we kind of chopped and pieced different designs that she did to put something together to make it match really well with the bar, which turned out very beautiful. The VIP section is made up of the couch, the smaller black tables, and the curtain. As I said before, those are put in there. And while decorations are made up just some of really weird oddities, things that you might not see in a normal bar, like if you go into a bar, you always see stuff on the wall, but we wanted to make that stuff real weird so that it doesn't come off as a normal bar. These are the instruments of the band members. I wanted to make the instruments recognizable, but I wanted to give them a twist so that it seems like these are otherworldly and they're not something that you would you as a normal person would play, something that was very different from us would play. I wanted the colors to also kind of match the band members. As you can see, the guitar matches the round skeleton with his yellow bow tie, the piano goes with the skeleton that had the red shirt. It's more rugged looking, more mean looking with the reds. And then the drum set goes to the more shorter square character. I don't know, I just thought he looked stumpy, so he looked like he would play drums well. And then, of course, the microphone goes to the vampire singer. Oop, there you go.
All right, so I helped to do the concept art for some of the bar tools that we had. The shaker in particular, when I was designing this, I thought, you know, based off of the drinks that we were trying to make for this animation, we would kind of want to see the inside of it, see what it looked like, kind of give a creepy vibe to it. So we did the clear shaker, and then I did a wood and metal version just to kind of see what we wanted to go with, give us a variety to choose from. And we did go with the metal just because it fits more with the aesthetic. The spoon is Victoria's design. She did that one because I was having a little bit of trouble with that one, as well as the towel. Now the tray, she also designed. My initial design for the tray, I don't know if you can see it, but it actually has bones around the outer edge of it. And we decided that that would be way too hard to animate, so we actually went with a better design, which I personally like a lot more. And then the drinks are my absolute favorite part of this as well. The drinks that I designed were kind of fitted to the characters, so there's almost a drink for every single character that we have in this animation. The purple drink is more like a soul drink, so you would pour souls into it and drink it. The red drink, of course, is blood with a nice little blood accent around the rim. The green drink is a swampy moss drink for the swamp man. Excuse me. The white drink, I thought more of like a cold rum drink, like a cold coconut rum drink, something like that. And then they also kind of just match the aesthetic as well. And then, like I said before, Victoria stylized them to our animation just to make sure it stayed consistent with the characters and the overall feel of the animation.
These are our story beats. As Hampton described them earlier, they kind of show like the main points of our animation that will be going. It kind of shows overall, like giving us an idea of how we want the overall animation to play out, and then helping us continue these with storyboards. So it starts outside of the bar, and slowly you move into seeing the vampire singing, and it kind of shows you a little bit around the bar, showing what those background characters are doing, focusing back on the vampire singer, and then back to the credits. I'm going to go ahead and play the main animation. So once you have the lights. Ooh, those are bright. There we go. All right. Thank you. Now, I do want to say, as you can see from the animation, not all the characters made it in. Me and Zoe were the only two on the production side of animating. Pre-production, we had help. On production, it was a little more tight, so we were a little more crunch for time. So unfortunately, not all the characters made it in, but we hope to continue this project even after, this presentation. We're still going to try to work on it and get it done. I will now show the animatic, which has the storyboards, which is how we really wanted the whole animation to play out, and you'll get to see all the shots that we wanted to put in it. Thank you, Miss Finch. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's the animation again. Oh no. Here we go. Okay. Thank you. Like I said before, as you can see, not all the characters made it into the final animation, but we hope to continue to make it to look exactly how this animatic played out. I do want to say that Cheyenne Wolf also helped us create this animatic. I did the storyboards and she put the video together, also doing the effects, which helped us guide us to how we wanted our compositing to look. There we go. Okay.
Okay, so I am going to explain a few things before we play this video. So this is the roughs of some of the shots, some of them that didn't make it into the final animation, such as the bartending shot, and just some in-betweening as well. Now, the concept of in-betweening has already been explained, but I did want to go in a little bit more and explain just how much time it takes to do that. So for instance, with the very last shot with the vampire, that shot is 288 frames, if I'm not mistaken. And if you're animating on twos, you got to animate at least half of those frames, bit by bit. So that took probably, I want to say, about a month and a half to do. So it definitely is a very, very long process. But I will say it is very, very, very rewarding in the end, especially when you get a beautiful animation like we've gotten so far. So then I will play this.
This last video that we would like to show you is our compositing comparing. So shots before they get composite and then shots after they get composite, just to show you how much of work also goes into making these lightings and these effects that happen in the video. So as you can see from the video, the lighting can make a world of difference, especially with ambiance if you're kind of trying to create a certain kind of feeling in your video. Compositing in After Effects really helps with that. Also including shadowing, and because you can see some of the shadows like behind Lilith from the piano, all those are very important that add more realism in a sense to the animation. Same with like the little, I don't know if you could see it too well, but there was little dust particles that were flying around, and that's another really cool effect that makes it more visually interesting. I want to give a special thanks to my friends who did the music for me. Two of my friends, they couldn't be here today, but my friend Brent and Lainey did the music. They produced and sung it for me. So without them, honestly, this project wouldn't be where it is today because they did a very wonderful cover for me that was special that I don't know if I could have got from anybody else. So really thank you to them. And I just want to give like a final conclusion. Just saying thank you for being here. Thank you for, supporting all of us in our dreams. All the groups worked extremely hard, and I feel really honored to be able to work alongside them. And same with the professors. I feel honored to have had them as professors because without them, I don't think we would have got as far as we have either. And I want to give a special thank you to Zoe because she stuck with me through all this and worked really hard while working. And, I was very grateful for all the work she did. Would you like to? Okay.
And I would also like to thank Victoria for helping out when she could and when I couldn't do the work because of work. I also do want to thank Miss Thorpe and Miss Flincham and even Mr. Burns in the audience because I had him my first semester. And, I wouldn't be where I am today without you guys. I actually met my fiance here at school. So that goes to show you that anything can happen while you're at school, while you're chasing your dreams. And to all the naysayers out there, we did this. We did it, to heck with it. We did it. So, that's a reward in of itself. So thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Goodbye.
A big thank you to Victoria and Zoe. That was beautiful. So excited. Okay, so that leaves us with one more group, and that would be our one and our only gaming level project. I'm very excited about this. They're getting ready to walk up here, but the sheer volume of 3D modeling they did between last semester and this semester was insane. They know the exact numbers, I believe, but I'll let them talk to you about it. So without further ado, we have The Hall, which is a gaming level created by Steven and Lathan. Okay, so y'all's stuff, is it in the normal folder here?
Right there.
This one? Okay. So whenever you bring up stuff you want to share, you're just going to have to kind of click and drag this over.
Yeah.
All right.
Hello. Hello. Is this on? Hello. That's better. All right. So before we begin, I'd like to start with a quote from one of my favorite musicians and someone that Stephen likes, Ronnie James Dio. Great man. This is your here, this is your now, let it be magical. It's always true. Now, this game, first of all, I want to congratulate everyone here for your hard work and for putting up with my crap for 2 years, because I'm not easy to deal with, and I know it. I'm just so proud of you all. And thank you for being there for me and for everyone else who may have needed help during these 2 years and difficult years, especially during a pandemic. But we did it. We're here. We're done. We'll be back. Don't worry, teachers. We're coming back. We still got work to do. Where's the mouse? Where's the mouse? Steven, I'm going to let you do you.
Okay. I'm not good at this kind of thing, but it's been real tough in making this a project come to life. But we did it, and thank Lathan for putting up with me and all that kind of thing. And you're in for a real treat here.
All right, so I'm not going to restart the computer. Go away. I'm going to start off by moving this tab to the screen. This is just some of our 3D models. Personally, through my time at this program, I have done over 300 models myself. Stephen has done many. Stephen has improved greatly with his modeling skills, and I'm proud of him. I'm proud of you, man. But do not close. Oh, dear. So, oh, there we go. Oh, that's confusing. So these are just some of the models. Not all of them made it into the game. There's a nice chair. But me and Steven worked hard on models. I'm not sure if any of your viewers are in this folder. Yes.
Tiresome. It takes a lot of work to make them come to life, and with the lighting and the color and all that. But it's been a big adventure.
It has been a huge adventure. Man, this is backwards. I gotta find other stuff. So, contrary to animation, well, much like animation, we have to do beat boards, reference boards, character concepts, except we don't have any visual characters, so we didn't do that. And we kind of just maybe jumped the gun and did a bunch of this. A bunch of this in this semester where we were supposed to work everything out that we were supposed to do. But, I mean, it got done. We finished, yeah, mission complete. So, not lightbox renders. Trying to find no, I'm trying to find the it would have disappeared, yes. Beat boards, there we go. So I'm just gonna show y'all one. It will be oh dear. All right, give me a minute, please. Intriguing. Well, somewhere there is a folder with all the rooms before anything was put in them, even the roof. And they're just, imagine this room without a roof, chairs, or any furniture. It's just walls and the floor with wood that look like wood, but it's not wood. And you got a weird looking sky. Imagine that. If you can visualize that, you know how everything looked before.
Play Doom, the game Doom, you'll understand.
Yeah. But
there you go.
the video's a bit long. It's not the whole game, sadly. We couldn't do a video for the whole game, or y'all be here for
For a while.
40 minutes maybe. Where's that presentation folder? There it be. Actually, here we go.
There we go.
That's what it looked like. I know the doorways are huge. The character model's a bit small. We got rid of the Nerf gun that doesn't even shoot more than an inch in front of you. But this is what it looked like in the beginning. And it turned into something far more.
Awesome.
The doorway stayed huge, though. Resizing everything would have just been more of a headache than it would be worth. This way. There we go. Go back. Right, after that, that's a video. Wait, which video are you? Alright, so in the very, very early days, in a time before knowledge, there was what? This is just really, really early on into it before a lot of stuff was put in there. Thankfully, Unreal has a free thing called the horror engine. Has a lot of stuff pre-made. Not everything. Yeah. Blueprinting in Unreal is more than a nightmare. It's playing Dark Souls. It's like playing Dark Souls on Doom's hardest difficulty. It's impossible. Yeah. But our inspirations were like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, if any of you heard of the game Scratches or Myst, first-person horror games where you click around the environment. There's nothing really chasing you, no threats, you just experiencing it.
This whole game is experiencing supernatural,
Yeah.
paranormal activity.
Exactly.
Some of it goes back into the Babylonian times, thing with the tablet.
There are some of the models that Miss Lynch was talking about. The materials are not from Maya. They are from packs I got from Unreal. I wish I could have learned how to make materials, but I tried, and none of it worked. Yeah, some of the stuff was from the Unreal Marketplace for free. I don't think all of it's free anymore. It comes and goes. The treasure...
Scripting involved in this too.
Yeah, blueprinting, scripting. Treasure pack was a very valuable thing to have with this. The sound effects. And an unfinished wall. The walls don't like to be finished. I'm gonna go ahead and stop it there. Mouse to the top. Alright. This way. There we go. Do you have anything you wanted to add?
I just want to say it's been awesome. This 2 years journey here at this school. Had great professors, taught us a lot of things. It's been an honor to be able to go to class with such creative people, different mindsets, different creative abilities, and it's just been grateful to learn. I've learned a lot from them, and again, learned a lot from the professors.
So before I show you what we had for the video, I recorded a video. Instead of recording the whole game, I recorded some of the intro stuff, the video that I recorded of myself, and managed to smack into the game on a VHS tape. But I'm going to show y'all the end part, and we're going to have the game pulled up in one of the classrooms for y'all to test out. See if y'all can make it to this room. Oh, come on. This is the final room. There's a puzzle involved to get to there. But I hope if y'all manage to make it there that y'all enjoy it.
Don't get too scared.
Yeah, some of the models, one of the things the horror engine allows you to do is actually use objects and set it up so you can look at them and rotate them. But without any further delay, and hopefully the volume is loud enough, because I wasn't going to turn the volume on my speakers all the way up and annoy everyone else trying to work.
You've been through that all this semester anyway.
Full screen. All 13 minutes. Oh. Yeah. Hello, welcome to my home. Assuming you have this note in hand, I'm sure by the entryway you can tell this is not a normal house or a normal investigation. Sorry, I can't read. I have many times in here that I have suspected are haunted. What is wrong with me? I see where my mind was going with this note. I didn't spell anything right. Essentially there is a security room with equipment. The house is haunted or not, depending on what you believe. Investigate and find out if you believe in ghosts. I'm really sorry, I can't read. Do the spacebar work? Yes, it does. Will this go away? Also, sorry it's so laggy. I don't know why it did that. It just kind of did its own thing. Or it could be the ridiculous amount of textures I have. Hello. I'm guessing. One last thing before I continue this. I don't know what it is, but you will notice that there's something off with the video. I think it's because the TV in game is domed, but it makes me look like an alien. But I do hope you get the gist of it. I just wanted to warn you because it just looks weird. If you're seeing this, you found the tape. We both expected you'd make it at least this far. However, how far you make it after this is entirely up to you. Where to begin? Guess I should start with the house. After all, it's why you're here. The house was built sometime around the Revolutionary War. It's an old house, very creaky. You know how they are. Anyway, I'm sure you've noticed by just the entryway alone that I have a lot of old things in here. I need you to look after them. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Ghosts! Yeah. I don't give a shit if you believe in them or not. They are real. And they are here. If you want to investigate, you can, or just relax. But make sure my stuff doesn't get stolen. Or there will be severe consequences. Anyway. There is a security room, camera set up throughout. You'll find in the room some standard items, camera with night vision equipped for if the power goes out, flashlight, photographic camera, of course you'll need photos, those are included too, batteries, lighters, fuel for torches and all that. But I want you to be careful and make sure you're thorough if you do decide to investigate. You never know what you'll uncover. That's just some backstory on the house. Oh dear, where's the mouse? I'm gonna stop it there for now. As you can see, a lot went into this. There's far more rooms in the house than we probably should have put in there, but I assure you they're all furnished and they all have walls. They're not just checkerboards. It was a difficult process to start with, but me and Stephen are both very determined, and we don't give up easily. And there are times when I thought I might give up. Stephen thought he might give up, but we never give up. I'm sure many of you considered giving up at some point, and I'm proud that you didn't. And Johnny, I sat behind you watching you work this whole time, and I am so proud of you, man. You have done incredible things, and I look forward to seeing your finished animation. And if y'all are doing this again, I would like to come and see it, your next group of students and stuff. Hi, Mr. Burns. Stephen, I'm pass this off to you.
Again, it's been a journey. I've learned a lot. It's been great working with such creative people, all the students here, and great teachers with picking their minds and get all kinds of information from them and stuff that's going to help us out in the workforce. And as far as this project, we just showed you so many hours and hard work has gone into this. With 3D modeling and the script, and which is a nightmare, and everything. It's just it's been a great learning experience, and that's all I say.
Thank you all for such a wonderful time at school. I never did good in school. Well, that's a lie. I did okay, but here I've done better than I ever have. Miss Flincham, thank you. Miss Roberts, thank you. Mr. Ricardo, I'm pretty sure you're there listening. Thank you. Don't worry, we haven't had any fun. I don't know what else to say, but thank you all. Thank you for coming. If my girlfriend is watching, thank you for watching. I know you're probably tired from working last night. Does anyone have anything they'd like to come up here and say? 'Cause I'm sure someone here has some final words before we go. Anyone? Come on, man, guys. Miss Flincham has something to say to us.
All right, so that wraps up all of our projects for this semester. So not to sound like a broken record, but again, wow, the amount of work you all have put into just all of your years here, all of your semesters, all of these projects. Every last one of you should be so very proud of what you have done. I mean, I have really watched tremendous amounts of growth from every last one of you, both in skill and knowledge, but also, again, just as individuals and as people and building relationships. Like, you've just grown so much. It's probably going to be, if I'm being honest, I know our graduation day for many of you is on Wednesday. And honestly, I think Miss Thorpe and Mr. Ricardo would agree that's going to be one of the most exciting days for us, but it's also going to be one of the most bittersweet days, because if we could keep every last one of you here forever, we would, at least for a few more semesters, because honestly, the past 2 years, and really if you think about it, for many of you, it was only 5 semesters. It just seems way too short of a time to be in y'all's presence. So I just hope that you all will visit us, and you're always welcome to come to the labs, check out what we're doing, talk to the new students, catch up with us. We're always going to be here, and you always are welcome. Miss Thorpe, do you want to say anything? Come on, Thorpe.
Aw. You guys finished. It's all so beautiful. I didn't cry through all of them. It's totally fine. I think you should all be really proud of yourselves. If you're here to see any of our students, hopefully you understand by now, like, the amount of sheer willpower that they have. I came in my first semester teaching at Forsyth Tech, January 2020. Spoiler, there was a pandemic. And my sweet baby angels persevered in a way that I don't think I could have if I was in their shoes. So you guys should feel really good about what you've done in the midst of adversity and when really the odds were stacked against you. You guys created really beautiful pieces of art that you can take with you and that are going to get you hired in the industry. So I love all of you so much, and I'm so proud of you, and you guys did so great this semester and all of the semesters, and I know all that you're going to do is shine when you leave Forsyth Tech. So congratulations, I love you all.
And without further ado, let's go to the pause. What's happening?
So, the students, I'm sure you've heard all day how much we appreciate our professors here at Forsyth Tech. Unfortunately, one of them could not be here today. He's spoiling his own surprise. But we created picture books for you three as like a remembrance of like how much we appreciate you, as well as like some of our art. We printed out 15 more copies for everyone to have, so we have something to share before we all go.
I'm not crying, you are.
And this is Mr. Ricardo's whenever he wants that.
Thanks.
Thanks, y'all. You're making that walk across the commencement stage on Wednesday all the more. Thank you. Okay, so are we ready for the tables? Are we ready? All right, so our students, I want you to hop out and go there first so you can get to your chairs. And all of the guests that came, we have tables set up. They have prints, we have keychains, just different types of souvenirs that you can take with you. The prints you can get autographed and signed by the creators. We just thought it'd be a fun way to celebrate. So whenever you're ready, you can feel free to make your way toward the exit. We have 2 tables directly outside of the auditorium. If you make a left, it was right across from the bathroom area. There was kind of like a little lobby. Another table will be set up there, and then right across from that, we'll guide you. We'll be around. We'll guide you. But there's a couple locations for these tables, so feel free to start walking around and enjoying the festivities. Thank you so much for your time.